Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my weekly review of my account, ladies and gentlemen. This is my account, how I'm doing with my money. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at $118 and $118,355.50. We're down $7,324.78 for the week, ladies and gentlemen. 5.83 for the overall count. And for the year, we're down 26.39, ladies and gentlemen. 26.39, $42,442.30. I got to remake, ladies and gentlemen. But look at the video is coming out on April 1st, ladies and gentlemen, to show you what kind of cash flow money I am making, ladies and gentlemen. Cash flow of money, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the account. Individual account, ladies and gentlemen, we were up for the Friday. We're up Friday. $160. But for the week, we're down 8.82%. What about $670, ladies and gentlemen, year to date? 37, 26, $9,887 on margin. We still got 42.54% buffer, $5,580.25. I mean, this will have to drop that much more, ladies and gentlemen, before I be called for a margin call, ladies and gentlemen, using $10,329.89. Just going to keep that flowing, ladies and gentlemen. Why were we up? Because of this one stock here, ladies and gentlemen. Resolve. Look at this. Look at this. What is this? Look at this. 7:05. 10 minutes before. 10 minutes before. After hours close, ladies and gentlemen. For the weekend. We're trading at $2.54 and ended up at $2.67. This only went up 5 cents during the day, but 11.7% after hours, $27. I know earnings is supposed to be coming out on Monday. I'm sitting watching that, ladies and gentlemen, sitting and watching that. Let's see what we could do on sell cover calls. Ooh, we could do a $3 one. I'm doing $3, not on this account, but on my traditional in my Roth IRA N350, ladies and gentlemen, can make between $5 per contract or $10. I'm going to see where I can get. I might do a little bit less there, more there. Who knows, ladies and gentlemen. I'll talk about that more on my Resolve video on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, showing you how I'm getting out of Resolve. Well, I'm not getting out of it, but I'm getting more shares, especially in my traditional. I'm trying to get up to $5,000 by the end of April, ladies and gentlemen. April just around the corner. This is the last Sunday of March already. Yeah. My God, where did this quarter went to? But let's look at it traditional, ladies and gentlemen. We're up on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, for the week. We're down $4,890.13, 5.99% year to date. We're down 426.82, 25.62%. And where we, yep, Resolve was the only one that was up. The rest were down here, ladies and gentlemen. So think what I'm going to do for this one, ladies and gentlemen. How can we generate more money? But they go to traditional. I already put in the 165 for this week. Now look at the week. We're down $1,066.30, 4.9%. Year to date, 19.75. SoFi stock, ladies and gentlemen. I am buying more SoFi, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, it is trading at 15.05. There'll be a SoFi video coming out on Wednesday showing you what I'm going to do with my money in this account, ladies and gentlemen. Can this drop below $15 by Sunday, ladies and gentlemen? I'm hoping it will by when markets open up for pre-market on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, this week, down to $2. Year to date, it's down to $11.61, down 43%. And I am just accumulating more shares, ladies and gentlemen. Now I got 207 in this account. looking at to buy more, ladies and gentlemen. This could be a lot more, but check out that video on April 1st. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, with this one SoFi in the Roth IRA, since I'm getting 165. See, my buying power is at $182.06. Let's say I spent 186 divided by. Let's say it's going to be at $15. That's an extra 12.4 shares. 12.4 shares. I could buy 12 on after market, ladies and gentlemen. I'll wait till it drops below that 15 and hope to accumulate more, ladies and gentlemen. But this is what I'm doing on a weekly basis, buying more SoFi. I'm gonna get another 93 shares of SoFi, where I can do more cover calls. Yeah, we can do cover calls on SoFi. I know 100 shares of it, ladies and gentlemen. I look at the cover calls. I know on SoFi I will have to keep $28 of 100 shares. I can't sell the $28, but I can go lower, ladies and gentlemen. Look, $15.50. Why not do a $15.50? Good bet there. Make $36. Look at the delta, 42%. Oof, that's gonna be a good one there, ladies and gentlemen. Or I could do at $15.50. Now I'm gonna go at $15.50 or a $16. But there's one I'm gonna go all the way up to keep that 100 shares, probably all the way up to that $22 mark. To keep it's a dollar, but I'm keeping that. Hey, making that extra dollar. Then I can make the other one on the $15.50, make 36. That's $37. That's 2 extra shares be bought up on Monday, ladies and gentlemen, to lower down my costs. That's what I'm trying to do with SoFi. Lower that cost down, ladies and gentlemen. Average cost was $28. Now we're down to $23.18, ladies and gentlemen. It's 12.61% of my Roth IRA. I'm down $1,689.38. Only 35%. I am doing better than what this had been doing for the year, ladies and gentlemen. Down 43.55. DCA does help you, ladies and gentlemen. Lower that down. Also doing options. I'm re-putting that premium back into it, buying more shares, ladies and gentlemen. Does help you get better, ladies and gentlemen. When this does rebound, that means I have 100 extra shares that I could hold on to the $28 and make an extra $1,300, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this short weekly review of my account, ladies and gentlemen. See you on the next one. Peace out.